Welcome to EasyAdMaker.com. My name is Ty, and I'm going to be going over the admin and how to use that. Once you come to our site and you register either for your yearly or monthly subscription, then you will have access to the admin area and all the ads and ad types that we have. So you'll come in here and you'll log in with the username and password that you created when you set up your account. And I'm going to log in with my dummy account. Okay, once you log in, you will see the administrator area, and over on the right you'll see the video that I'm making right now. Of course, this is where you're watching it, but you will have instructions here that you can read through. Just to basically explaining the first step that you'll need to upload your images by clicking on the media library to the left and uploading your images to that area. Then you're going to want to copy the link to the folder that you uploaded the images to. Here's the example right here, and you can actually copy this if you wanted to and just change the year and the month at the end if that makes it easy for you, because you already know what month it is that you're uploading your images and what year, so it's going to be in that folder. Okay, but I'll show you how to go through that process here. And then you're going to fill out the appropriate fields. When you click on one of the ad types over here, you're going to fill that out. You're going to hit save, then you're going to hit save again to create your ad code for your ad, and then you can either have that run on your own website, or you can give that to a third party to have run. You can even place the ad code on our site here, create a page for it, and place it there and give that link to your advertiser or whoever to have the ad approved before it is ran. And so we're going to start by uploading some images, and I'll show you how to do that here. Okay, so first one we're going to start off with is the catfish ad. So I'm going to upload the images I've made for that by going to my media library. I'm going to click add new, and I can either select files from the computer or I can drag and drop them. And I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop these files on here. Okay, now what I talked about just a minute ago was getting the location of the files. So I clicked on edit. I just clicked on one of these, clicked edit, so that I can get the file location of this particular file, and that is in my uploads 2013, and a month is July, so that's 07. So I can copy that, and I can close that, and I've kept that in my memory for copy. And now I can go back to starting my catfish ad. Click add new, and now the first area is adding my advertiser's name. Now it says do not use spacing between words, instead use an underscore. Example, my underscore advertiser. Your JavaScript file will be created with this name and cannot have spacing. So you want to make sure that if you're going to have a long name for your advertiser, that you put underscores instead of spacing so that everything still is connected. So in this case I'm going to do catfish ad, and I'm going to paste in my file directory. So it says paste the file directory where your images were uploaded. We just copied that, so I'm going to go ahead and paste it in. Now main ad image, my main ad image is the name of the image without the file extension. So it says without extension, example cat main. So in this case you can see here's my main image and my background image. Now with the catfish ad, you have to have a background image that repeats across the screen and then a main ad image. I'm going to bring up my examples here. So this is the main image, and you can see this little black area. This is actually the transparent area, but when I'm viewing it in this viewer, it shows it as black. But that little bit is transparent, so that this kind of sticks above the content a little bit. And then the main image that the main background image is the same, just without all the other images in there. So it's just this image can repeat smoothly clear across the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to open up Photoshop here actually, and I'm going to load these two images in there to kind of give you a better view of that. But you want to make sure that your images are 800 pixels in width and 79 pixels high for your catfish. Okay. I'm loading these. Okay. So here is our main image. Now you can see this kind of checkered background. That means that it's showing you that that area is transparent. But the whole image in size, in height, is 79 pixels. Okay. But from here, the top of the blue area down to the bottom is 73 pixels. I like my images, sometimes I even go a little lower with the background and make it a transparent GIF. And then here is the main background that repeats across the bottom of the screen, and that again is a GIF. So you'll want to make sure that your images you upload for your catfish ad are GIFs, and you want to type in cat main instead of catmain.gif, and catbg instead of catbg.gif, or whatever you're naming your particular files. Okay. And the advertiser link, I'm just going to do Google, and then you have a cookie time, which by default is 10 minutes, and that's 60,000 milliseconds. So cookie time means the ad will not show again for the set time. Enter the time in milliseconds. Example, 1 second equals 1,000 milliseconds. So the default time is set to 10 minutes. So if you were to leave this, then the ad will come up from the bottom of the screen, and then the next time you refresh, it won't come back again for another 10 minutes. Now you want to set this to a decent time. You don't want to keep having the thing pop up every time someone goes to a page, because that's going to drive them nuts and they're not going to come back to your website. And if you're creating this to run on another website, if you're creating your own ad to have run on another website, they're not going to want you to keep running this and running this. So you'll have to check with them. Maybe they'll have a particular time that they'll allow. The decent thing to do is find out what the average user time spent on a site is, and usually a site that you're going to advertise on knows what their traffic is and how much time the average person spends on their website. One of the a local newspaper here, their average time is about 5 minutes. So I would set it for about 5 to 6 minutes. That way, I would probably go 6 to 7, but a good time is just 10. That means that it's not going to keep coming back and bugging them. But if they come back after 10 minutes, they refresh a page or they go to a new page, it's going to load again. So it's not too in your face, yet it comes back after a decent time. So, but just to show you how this works, we're going to do 1 second here to show you how it keeps coming up when you refresh. And I'm going to change the color of the button, the background color of the close button. Okay, there'll be a close button that will be above this area here, and it will say close, and I can change the color and the text to match. So in this case, I want to color match this particular area of the image I made because it's going to be flush against the top. So I know that color is 07212E. Okay, so I come back here, and I've already got this in memory on my browser, but I want to save that, and then I want the text color to be white, and these are in hex code. And if you're having trouble picking a color, if you don't know hex code, then you can just use this color picker link, come here, and you can choose a color, okay, and then you copy that color and paste it here. But make sure you leave your pound sign, because you want to this is going to be a part of your code. So if you take out the pound sign, it won't recognize the color code. And then you remember me discussing that from here to here was 73 pixels. I want the ad the close button not to stop at the 79 pixel height, because then it will have this little weird gap in between, but I want it to be at 73 because from here to here is 73. So I am going to do 73. Now if your image extends from all the way to 79 pixels, then just leave it at 79 pixels. Okay? And then the next area is mouse over count, and I'm actually going to change this to an editable field, because if you want to test this ad and you want to clear the mouse over count and click count before it goes live, then you should be able to do that. So I'm going to make this editable here in a second, but you click save. Okay, and it says advertiser was successfully added. Click save again to create your JavaScript for the file, for the ad. So we click save. Your JavaScript file for the ad has now been created and or updated. Go back to your advertiser list to get your ad code. So we click on the catfish ads, and then we see that we have it created. Before here it said that there was no ad script created and we needed to create a new advertiser. We've done so. So now we have an entry in the database showing that advertiser, and we have our script, which then we can copy from the start of the script to the end of the last script here. Copy that, and I want to test it. So let me get rid of these pages here. Now let's go to Pages, create a page, and I'm going to title this, of course, catfish ad. Why not? And we need to make sure that we are on text and not visual. Okay, visual is just a visual editor where you can highlight things and turn them bold. Text is more like an HTML deal, but we are pasting HTML in here. So make sure you're on text. If you leave it, if you click on this, that should be your default unless you change it back. So we'll paste that in, and we're going to select a template. Now I will create a catfish template for you just so you're not confused, but we're going to use a sliding billboard template right now because it has a decent amount of text on it. And click publish, and now we can view the ad. So I'm going to right click and open in a new tab, and you'll see the ad come up from the bottom of the screen there. Okay, so if I refresh, our cookie code is set to 1 second, so this sucker is going to keep coming back, and you don't want to do that you know, for every advertiser, because, or for every site it's on, because then it's going to drive people nuts. Now I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and create a template for this page real quick, and I'll come back and kind of show you that this ad goes over all the content, that you can keep scrolling and such. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's try this. We're going to go back to our pages deal just to get out of here, go back into our page, and I should be able to select the catfish template. Update. Now I have a little more text on this page. So now you can see that I have a scroll bar. I can keep scrolling and the catfish ad goes over all the content. Okay? So it makes it a lot easier by creating this page to show you that you can keep scrolling. And this doesn't need to go over anybody else's, their ad positions don't need to be updated on their site. This can go virtually on any site. It goes over all their content. So this ad can pretty much be placed on any type of website. It's pretty cool. Now let's track mouse overs and clicks. Now I haven't moused on the ad yet, so if I go back to my catfish ads, you'll see that it mouse over is 0, click through is 0. So if I mouse over it, mouse off, and let's mouse over it again and mouse off. Now if I refresh this page, you'll see that it only counts one mouse over. So it only counts a mouse over per page refresh. Now because I don't want to keep counting a mouse over each time I mouse over this, because I'm the same user, okay, I'm the same visitor to the site, I don't want to keep counting it each time because that's not accurate. So the accuracy is by page refresh, and then the click through will keep counting however many times you click on it. So I'll click on it, it goes through, look at that, to Google where we told it to go through to, And if we come back and refresh, you'll see that we have now one click through and one mouse over. So if I refresh this page, there the ad comes back again. And if I mouse over, mouse off, if I come back here and refresh, now I should have 2 mouse overs and 1 click through. That's how it works. Now, I want to set, if I come back and edit, I want to set the cookie time from 1 second back to 10 minutes. So that's 60,000. And save. It says it was successfully updated. So now this script should be updated. I come back here and I hit Control F5. Now the ad will come back. Now if I refresh again, then the ad should disappear and not come back. Look at that. Now it won't come back for another 10 minutes. Or unless I clear all my cookies, then it'll come back. And some people have their browsers set to clear their cookies once they close them. But if they're closing the browser, then they're probably not going to open it and come right back anyways. So the cookie time is still in fact good. So that is how it works. The cookie time. Now if I refresh again, yeah, I just refreshed and it still didn't come back, so it has set the cookie time. Okay, so that's how we do a catfish ad. Let's go on to expanding ads. Now you can see that all your ads carry over, your ad script carries over to whatever ad type you are on. Okay, whether you're on expand any of these, your ad code will continue on. Okay. And then if you want to delete one, say your script, okay, these JavaScript files are created. Now if you delete an advertiser and you don't want to have that, it's going to keep, taking up space. You don't need an advertiser anymore. You don't need that information. You can delete it here. I recommend deleting there, selecting that JavaScript file from the drop-down menu and deleting that as well, because it's just going to keep taking up space and you don't need that anymore. And of course, that JavaScript file isn't going to work with the database if you have deleted that advertiser up here. So you delete an advertiser here, delete the JavaScript file that is associated with it. Just do it at the same time. Okay. So let's go to expanding ads. Okay, so let's start out with a 728 by 90 expanding ad. 728 by 90 is a typical ad size, and we're going to create a expanding ad with that. So let's just call this advertiser 1, and we need to upload our images, so I'm going to go ahead and open my media library in a new tab. Going to add some new images, and these are 2 images. Okay, I'm going to do it starting out at 728 by 90, and then it's going to expand to 300 in height. So it will still be, oops, I got a file I didn't want in there. So it's going to start out at 728 by 90, and it's going to expand from 728 to 300. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this here, and I can come back here, and since this is the same exact folder, it's still the same month, same year, so I can use that one. And my non-expanded image is the name without the file extension, so I'm going to do 728 by 90, and then and I'm going to use, these are JPEGs. Okay, expanded image is going to be 728 by 300, and the non-expanded width is 728 pixels. So it says if the ad is going to be a 300 by 250 expanding, then you will enter 300 here, because that's the width. That's the non-expanded width. My non-expanded height is 90 pixels, okay, because it's 728 by 90, non-expanded. The expanded width is still 728 by 90. I'm not going past the expansion width. or past the normal width. I'm staying within that width because I have to. But I can go higher in my height. So here I'm expanding to 300. Okay? Now, this can be left blank or left just like this by the default right and 0. I'm not going to use these because I'm going straight. This is a 728 by 90 that expands downward. It's not left or right. It's not a 160 by 600 expanding right or left, or a 300 by 250 expanding right or left. This expands down. So I can leave these two in this case, okay? And I'm going to add my advertiser link, which will be Google. And here I have my mouse over count, my click count, and my dwell time. These I can come in and change back to 0 at any time I want to, but you'll leave these fields blank at the first, when you first create your advertiser. Okay, everything's good to go. I'm going to hit save. Actually, since I made these fields editable, I'm going to put a 0 in here for each one. I'll add a default in there for you. Okay. So now we have it saved. Advertiser successfully added. Click Save Again to create your JavaScript file for the ad. Our JavaScript file has now been created or updated. Go back to the advertiser list to get our code. So now we see we have advertiser 1 right here. Now I can copy this. Now let's go over to our pages. Let's create a new page. Get rid of that. I'm going to call this one 728 by 90 expandable, because that's what it is. I'm still on text. I'm going to paste in my ad code here, and I'm going to select my default template, or my template, as a 728 by 90. Hit publish. Now I can right click and view the page, and you'll see there's my 728 by 90. There's my first image, and this expands over the content when you mouse over it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my expanding ads here. Now I can see my advertiser listed here. I have 0 clicks, 0 mouse overs, and this is where it counts the time spent on the ad in hours, minutes, seconds, and then it'll give you an average user time as well. And that takes this amount and divides it by the mouse overs to give you that. Okay, so now I will mouse over the ad, and you can see that it just expanded, and I can read all the content, depending on how much you have going on with the ad content wise. They're going to spend some time viewing it. Okay, they mouse off. Now the time just counted in the database. So if I come back here and refresh, I have 1 mouse over, and I just spent 15 seconds on the ad. Okay, so the average time spent is 15, because of course we're taking this and dividing it by how many mouse overs. That's 15 seconds per person. Okay, that's easy to tell. So if I was to mouse over it again, it would not count a mouse over, but it would continue to count my time. Okay, just like the catfish ad. We don't want to keep counting mouse overs for the same person, but if they go and view the ad again, we do want to add that time to the ad. Okay, so I'm mousing over it again. I'm going to probably add another 5 or 6 seconds on. Now if I refresh, yep, just 6 seconds. I was exactly right, 5 or 6 seconds. So it added another 6 seconds on. Now it's 21. Mouse over is still 1. Okay, so we have 21 seconds. If I want to click on the ad, you'll see that it went through to where we told it to go, which is Google still. And now we should have probably another second or so added on. Nope, because I did it so fast. The count, it only counts the ad if you've been on it for a fraction of a time, because if you were to accidentally mouse over it and mouse off, we don't want to count that time, because someone might not be wanting to stay on the ad. They just were mousing over and then it expanded and they don't want to stay on it, so they roll right off. We don't want to count that mouse over or time. So if we refresh, you can see that it didn't do that. So it only counts it after they've been on it enough time that lets you know that they're purposely on it. Okay, but we do have our click, so it counted our click, counted our mouse over. Now it's counting our dwell time. So if I refresh, now it will count a new mouse over and continue counting time as well. And then it will count it'll change the user average dwell time depending on how much time I spent on the ad and now the mouse over change. So it's about 7 or 8 seconds, I think, that I spent on it. 8 seconds. Okay, so it's taking this and dividing it by 2 now to give me an average time spent. Okay, so it's not completely accurate, but it's doing an average of, the more people you have, the better accuracy this average time is going to be. But it's going to give you an average time of, generally overall how many people were moused over the ad, how much time the average person probably spent on it. Okay, so that is how you create a 720 by 90. Let's do a 300 by 250. So let's do advertiser 2 again. Same folder. I'm going to go to my media library again, add new. I'm going to drag my 2 files for my 300 by 250. Now it's going to start out at 300 by 250 and it's going to expand to 600 by 250. Okay, still keeping the same height, but the width will change. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that. This will make it easier. So my non-expanded image is my 300 by 250, and these again are JPEGs, and I will make note of that here for you, that they need to be JPEGs. The expanded image is going to be 600 by 250. Now we need the non-expanded width, which is 300. Okay, and it says here's the prime example. If the ad is going to be 300 by 250 expanding ad, then you will enter 300 here. And then the non-expanded height. If the ad is going to be 300 by 250 expanding ad, then you will enter the 250 here. So the non-expanded height, of course, in this case, we are doing a 300 by 250, is 250. In this case, expanded width. Okay? If the ad is going to expand to 600 by 250, then you enter 600. And that is what we are actually creating. Expanded height still stays the same. Okay? In this case, it's saying that if it's a 728 by 90, then expanding to 728 by 300, then you enter 300. But in this case, we're keeping the same height, and we're going to expand this. We'll do right. So this will expand to the right, and then because a 300 by 250 is not going to be at the top of a page, okay, so it's not going to expand downward. It's either on the right side of a page or the left side of a page, sometimes in the middle, depending on the site and where the ad is placed, but they're either left, right, or middle on a website. Okay, so if you're creating a 300 by 250 or a 160 by 600 expanding ad, then you will need to choose which direction the ad will expand. This will depend on what side of the web page you are going to have the ad run on. If this will run on the left side of the website, then you will want to enter right. If this will run on the right side of a website, then you will want to enter left. Okay? Default is set to right. Now, we're going to leave it at right because we're going to put this ad on the left side of the website. And then the expanded direction pixels. If the ad is going to expand from 300 by 250 to 600 by 250, then the ad will expand left, and the ad will expand left, sorry. Then you will enter negative 300. If the ad will expand right, then you will enter 300 here. Okay, so expanding to the right is a positive in the pixels. Okay, so we need to go an additional 300 pixels to the right if we're expanding to the right. If we're going to expand to the left, meaning that the ad is running on the right side of a website, then it's going to be a negative 300 pixels. Okay, but since we're expanding to the right, this will be 300. And our click-through again will be Google. And our mouse over count, again, I will set these to defaults for you because this is a bit glitchy if I don't do that. So we saved and our ad was successfully added, so we need to click save again to create our JavaScript file. That has been done. JavaScript file has now been created. You can go back to the advertiser list to get your code. Expanding ads. Now we have advertiser 2. So this was expanding right. So we are going to create another page. And this will be a 300 by 250 right expanding. And since it's expanding to the right, we will put this in a 300 by 250 left template. Okay? And we will paste in our code, hit publish, and we can view the page. And look at that. So our content is here, the ad is on the left. If we go back, so here we see that we have 0 and everything. If we mouse over, now the ad expands to the right, 300 pixels, shows the image, and if we mouse off, as you can see, it still goes over our content. That is nice, that's what it's supposed to do. And it counted our mouse over and our time. So if we refresh, we see our mouse over and we see I spent 10 seconds on the ad. And if we mouse over it again and click through, I will get additional time and a click-through count. No extra mouse over because I did not refresh the page. But you'll see a 1 click and another 3 seconds spent on the ad. Perfecto. So that is a 300 by 250 expanding to the right. Now, this is easy to do if we're going to create another one that will expand to the left. All we have to do is create another one, and we can use the same files. So, non-expanded image is 300 by 250. Expanded image is 600 by 250. Okay, non-expanded width 300, non-expanded height 250. Expanded width is 600. Expanded height is still 250. And we change this to left, and we change this to negative 300. Click through is Google still. And again, I will change these to zeros by default, so you do not have to enter these in. But when I decided to make them active, Normally they were not editable fields, but then I realized that you would need to edit them if you were testing it and you wanted to come and reset these back to 0. So that would be handy for you. So we created our ad script. We go back, and you can see that once you have your images created, this is really easy to set up an ad. I do this in less than a minute. Okay, my script, copy. Now we will go back to our dashboard. We'll go back to our pages. Let's create another page. 300 by 250, expanding left. Paste in our code, and we are expanding left, so that means that the 300 by 250 right template is needed because it will be on the right side of the page, expanding left. Publish. Okay, view page. Bingo. How cool is that? Same images we can use to expand either side. You don't have to make 4 separate images. You can use these either way. All right. So we mouse over, and it's counting our time. Now counting our mouse over, and it's counting our click to Google where we told it to go. All right. So now we come back here, and we have our advertiser 3. Now they listed in alphabetical order. So we refresh. Now there is 1 click, 1 mouse over, spent 6 seconds on the ad. Perfecto. It's counting it all for you. Simple, simple, simple to make. The same ad, just a different position. Alright, so let's go ahead and repeat the same process. Let me actually make an update to this little doohickey here. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've updated these. A little bit of explanations. Images must be JPEG in JPEG format, non-expanded image without extension. Example is image main, not image main.jpg. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one. I'm going to my media library, and we're going to add new, and I'm going to do a 160 by 600 expanding to a 300 by 600. Okay, upload those 2 images. I'm just going to copy that one since I already know the name of the folder of the file, and we'll call this advertiser 4. We already know the file folder hasn't changed, still the same month, same day, same year. Non-expanded image, that would be 160 by 600. The expanded image would be 300 by 600, because that's the second image I'm moving to. Our non-expanded width, again, for this one is 160. Our expanded height is 600. Our expanded width is 300 because we are going from 160 by 600 to 300 by 600. So that is 300 in width. Okay. Expanded height is still at 600. And we'll do this to the right. And we will go, let's see, so we need the difference for going from, in this case we're not going from 300 to 600, we're going from 160 to 300, okay, in width. So we need to figure out the difference. That's when you pull up a calculator, and if you know the math by hand, then you just do that. But we're starting out, we're going to 300 in width, all right? So, but our original width is 160, okay? So that means we need 140 So we're going to go right an additional 140 pixels. Okay. Our click-through is going to be Google, and I have set these by default to 0 for you, so you don't have that problem. Advertisers successfully added. Save again to create your JavaScript file. And now it says that it has been created. I didn't actually go over this. The following fields below will automatically update themselves and should only be edited if you are testing the ad and need to later reset these fields to 0. So you can come back and reset them. Say you gave this, put it on a test page like we're doing, and you gave it out to somebody, an advertiser, to test, and they've approved it, but you don't want that counting because the ad has not officially been running yet on a site. Then you want to reset that. Then you want to come back in here and you can reset those to 0. Okay. So our ad code has been created. This is advertiser 4. Go back and we can copy this. And this was a 160 by 600 expanding to the right. Let's go new tab for adding a page. We will call this 160 by 600. Right expanding. And we will use the 160 by 600 left template because we are on the left side expanding right. And we will copy it. We'll paste our code in here. Publish. And we will view the page. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So we see that we have advertiser 4. 0 clicks, 0 mouse overs, 0 time. Now we can mouse over. And look at that. Expanded over the content. It's counting our time. Mouse off. Let's click through. Alright, it went through, went to Google like we said it would. If we refresh, this should go from 1 to 1, and we spent 7 seconds on the ad. Perfect. How simple was that? The only complicated part was really counting the difference between our width of the original and the expanded. So just simple math. Okay, so let's do it again, the same ad, but expanding on the right side. Let's do 5. Advertiser 5. Again, we are same folder. And we have 160 by 600 non-expanded. Expanded is 300 by 600. Non-expanded width is 160. Expanded height is 600. Expanded width is 300. Expanded height, again, still 600. And we are going to go left now. And then instead of 140, we are going to do negative 140, because of course we did 140 earlier, expanding to the right. So this is a negative 140. Click through is Google. These can be saved. Alright. Click again to create your JavaScript file. We go back. There is advertiser 5. Let's grab that code. Let's go create a page. Pages, new tab, new page. 160 by 600 expanding. Let's do left. Expanding. So for expanding to the left, and then this is a 160 by 600 right template. Paste in our script, publish, view the page, and looky there, we're on the right hand side and we're expanding left. How cool is that? Alright, click through, still working, it's tracking the click through. We're going to where we said it should go. Now if we refresh, advertiser 5 will have 1 click, 1 mouse over, 5 seconds. Just like all the others. Okay? Now, I think I've got all the expanding ads the typical ones that you would do. Okay, those are all done. The last one to show you is a sliding billboard ad. Now these push the content down instead of expanding over them like these ads do. Okay, that should count additional time. Nope, I wasn't on it long enough. I kept mousing off of it before I could actually start counting the time. Okay, so the last one, actually we have more. I forgot the side rail ads. We've got billboard ads next, our sliding billboard ads. Let's add one. We will do advertiser 6. Okay, same directory. I still need to upload my media though. I keep forgetting to do that. So these can be different sizes depending on the website you're going to run it on. The local newspaper here in my town, my city, their width is 940 pixels. Some sites are 1,000, so you'll have to get the dimensions, which is why I set it to where you can do that yourself. Where you can set the height and width instead of making it stuck at a particular width, because maybe a site doesn't do 940, maybe they do 1,000 pixels width. So, but I would say it's anywhere probably from 900 to 1,000. Typical sizes are 940 or 1,000 in width. So, we'll get to adding some of those images. Okay, so I'm gonna add new. These particular ones are going to be 940, expanding to 300. So the first ad will start out at 940 by 45, and it will expand to 940 by 300, which will actually be an additional 45 pixels as well, because the top ad stays there. But we'll copy that. I gotta remember what we're at 5, so now we're at 6 for this one. Advertiser 6, right? And same folder. And non-expanded image. This one's 940 by 45. Expanded image is 940 by 300. Not 3,000, 300. The width of the ad is 940. The non-expanded height is 45. The expanded height is 300. Oops. Okay. Preview time, the preview cookie time. This is the cookie time that should be set so the ad doesn't preview every time the page loads. Default time is 10 minutes, just like the catfish ad is, and the format must be in milliseconds. Example again, 1 second equals 1,000 milliseconds. So these sliding billboards expand and retract, and that's a preview. Okay, by clicking on it, it will expand and retract each time you click and open and close it. But by a page load, it does its own preview function, and then it will put a cookie on that so it doesn't keep expanding every time you load the page, because that would of course get annoying. So you want to let them know that one time that the ad does in fact expand and there's more information to the ad, so you set a cookie on it. Right now we're going to do 1 second, just so we can show you. I can show you what it looks like. I need to change those fields to editable. So let me do that here. Advertiser was successfully added. Create it again. So now our ad code is being created. Now I just need to make a quick adjustment to this area here so that we don't have to keep, and you don't have to keep entering that information over and over again. Okay, so let's refresh this page. Well, actually, let's just go back. Advertiser 6. And we will edit. Perfect. Those fields are now changed, so they're automatically set to 0. And our ad code has been created for our billboard, and that is advertiser 6. So we will copy that. And we will go to Pages. Let's create sliding. If I can find my keys here. Billboard. Okay, we'll paste in our script, and we will use our sliding billboard template. Publish. Now we can view the page, and you'll see the cookie time here. Let's fix this issue here. 1 second. Okay, so we should refresh and have it working. There we go. Now it went for, how many seconds did we say? Let's see, we said it's previewing for 5 seconds, okay? And the cookie time is set currently for 1 second, so it keeps coming back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it retracts, okay? And then if we click on it, then it will expand, okay? And we're counting time, how much time we're spending here looking at it. We're counting click, you know, mouse over, all that good stuff. So we refresh. Actually, when you go back to billboard ads, we got 1 mouse over, 1 click. Spent 15 seconds on the ad. All right. So if you wanted to edit the time for the ad, you know, ad preview, if you wanted it to say, let's only show it for 3 seconds, not 5, and let's set this back to 60,000, which is 10 minutes. And we can, just so you can show you, we can go ahead and reset these back to 0, because, you know, this is an example. We're playing with the ad. We don't. It's going to run live now. We've got to someone gave it to somebody to test, and now we're going to run it live. But we don't want the test, all the test, you know, mouse overs and count, click count, and dwell time to be added on, because that's not live data, right? So we reset it. Okay, so let's refresh. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. It retracted after 3 seconds. Now if we refresh, which I just did, and the ad is not expanding. So the preview has taken the cookie, and now it won't expand for the allotted time. How perfect is that? Alright, so now we can expand it if we want to, and we click to retract it. Pretty cool. So go back to billboards. We have 1 mouse over because it counts a mouse over when we expand this, okay? And again, only counts on page load. So we're counting time now. We count click. So now we have 17 seconds spent on the ad, 1 click, 1 mouse over. And the time counts from when the ad opens. Okay, so it's not on preview, but only when the ad is actually clicked on and opened. So now it counts time. Okay, so now we're counting the time, and then we close it, and then the time stops, and then that adds it to the database. Okay, so now we have 25 seconds. So additional time was added on. Perfect. So that is sliding billboard ads. Okay. Next we need to get into the last one, which is side rail ads. This is another fun ad position I came up with that I really like. Kind of works like the catfish ad, except it's on the side rail here. And you can set, of course, your size for that as well. Okay. And I'm going to grab some dummy images here, and we'll get back to you. Okay, so I've got my images. Let me get rid of this sliding billboard one here. I'm going to open up my media library. I'm going to add my images. I'm going to drag my 2 images over here. Now these are this is actual ad I did for Les Schwab, and when I create these ads myself, I do them in Flash, but of course trying to make this as easy as possible for everybody to use, I'm making them image based. Using images makes sure that just about anybody can do this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my side rail ad. I've copied that name of that file, and I'm going to title this Advertiser 7. Okay, same folder, obviously, and our non-expanded image. Now these must be in PNG format. Okay, the reason being is because you can make them so that they have some transparency to them. I like it. I like doing it that way. Now, I'll show you the typical way that I do them. You can see this checkered background. That's where my transparency is. Okay, and the rest of the image kind of shows over the content. And then the main image that expands, the same concept. So it's not a block with white background or whatever background color. This actually will be transparent, so when it expands over the content, it doesn't look square, it actually looks rounded. I like that look, so that's why I do them in PNGs. So if you wanted, even if you wanted to create an image where there wasn't a transparent background, just make sure they're saved out as a PNG. Trying to save time in creating file extensions and all that, it gets messy, so I'm just making sure they're one format for this ad. So these are my images, and I'm going to go in here and paste. So that non-expanded version is LS 100 by 525, so that's 100 pixels width by 525 pixels height. Now you can do this however big you want. I suggest not really going over 100 pixels in width for the non-expanded version. That way you're not too obtrusive and on somebody's website, sticking out too much over the content. 100 pixels width is quite big anyways. You could deal with 50 pixels width, but for the non-expanded version. Okay, and the expanded version is let's see. We're on side rail ads. Let's go back. I forgot what 900. So 900. The height is still 525, but we're at 900. Okay. And so we have non-expanded width is 100. The ad height is 525. Expanded width is 900. Okay, expanded left amount. So we are going. This is easy to do mathematically. You just take 900 minus 100, and that's 800. So, and we have the example right here actually. So it says if the ad is going to expand from 100 by 525 to 900 by 525, then you will enter negative 800 here. Now there's no the ad only here. I was going to explain, but it does here. The ad only goes on the right side of the browser and will expand left. So in this case, there is no option to switch sides, right or left. This is how the ad goes. Okay. So the click through, Google, and looks like I'm probably going to have to. I didn't add the default zeros here, so we're going to have to do that. Okay, so we're ready to go. We hit save again. Our ad code has been created. Now we have our script here. Copy that. We can go to Pages. And let's create a new page. And we will call this Side Rail Ad. We'll paste in our script, and I thought I had a side rail. You know what? I don't, but we can use, let's see, we can use a catfish template. Doesn't, I'll create one again for side rail, but you can use a catfish template and publish and view the ad. And now you can see that the ad appears on the right hand side here. Now I want to go to my profile here. I want to get rid of this stupid top bar thing. Yeah, goodbye. Okay, so actually it will add a field too to change how far the ad is from the top of the browser. That might be something that you'll need to adjust. This is the typical, I say 300, I think it's 300 from the top of the browser down to where the ad sits, but I can add a field to change that depending on what site you might run this type of ad on. But you can see that this is 100 pixels in width before it is expanded. Okay, and I make this so it's not a mouse over, it's a click to expand, because if they're accidentally going over this to the sidebar, I don't want the ad to just jump out on them, because that of course will really irritate somebody. So it's a click to expand, but it stays in that position. But once you click on it, the ad expands out from the right hand side, goes over the content. See, I like this nice and neat, where it has that transparency and shows the content behind it. Okay, and I need to add the button that goes up here to click to close, but there is a button here and that will close it. And again, if we go back to our side rail ad, we're counting mouse over and time spent on the ad, and I didn't click through, so we'll click through, and it's counting that. And now we have our click. So click, mouse over, 20 seconds spent on the ad. Bingo. That's all of them. So you have your catfish ad, your expanding ads, all variation in sizes, your sliding billboard ad, and your side rail ad. And that's it. So now you can create your own ads. You can put these on pages, and just like I did, and give the link to those pages to your advertiser or to whoever. You need to have the ad tested or approved beforehand, and then when you're ready to go, you can reset. You can go back in and reset your click-throughs and your mouse overs and your time, and save those to the database so that it's all reset, and your ad starts all over. And then you can give your ad code to another party to have your ad run, or if you use an ad server like Google Ad Manager, or DFP they call it, then you can use it there as well. So, but there are lots of different ad servers that you can run your ads through. So best of luck to you, and thank you for your service. Bye.